Everyone thinks the T-Rex was the king of the world, the ultimate predator, the apex of all life, but here's what nobody tells you: being a T-Rex was an absolute nightmare. From the moment you hatched, the universe was already working against you. Your arms couldn't reach your face. Your entire species was basically a walking design flaw, and you had an expiration date baked into your DNA today. We're breaking down exactly why it sucked deeply, terribly, and completely to be born as a Tyrannosaurus rex. Let's start with the obvious: those arms. Those tiny, horrifying 3-foot-long arms attached to a 40-foot body. Scientists still debate what T-Rex arms were actually for. They couldn't reach its mouth. They couldn't reach each other, and if a T-Rex fell face forward, it literally could not get up. It would just lie there. A 9-ton predator face in the dirt, completely helpless. Here's the cruel part: the arms weren't always small. Early T-Rex ancestors had perfectly normal arms, but over millions of years, evolution just shrunk them, not removed them, just made them small enough to be embarrassing but big enough to still feel the suffering. Some researchers believe they may have been used during mating, which means the most intimate moment of a T-Rex's life involved waving around two tiny, useless limbs and hopping for the best. Evolution. What a comedian now. The teeth: the T-Rex had 50 to 60 banana-sized teeth. Sounds powerful, right? Except, those teeth were hollow at the base. Every single time a T-Rex bit into bone, which it did constantly, it risked cracking its own teeth. And cracked teeth in the Cretaceous period meant one thing: infection. Paleontologists have found T-Rex skulls with clear signs of bone infection spreading from broken teeth directly into the jaw. No dentists, no antibiotics, just slow, agonizing rot spreading through your skull while you're still alive, still trying to hunt. There's also evidence of a parasitic infection called trichomonas, the same disease that kills birds today, found inside T-Rex jaw bones. It would have caused massive lesions in the mouth and throat, making it painful or even impossible to swallow food. The greatest predator in history may have literally starved to death because it couldn't swallow. Now let's talk about the eyes. The T-Rex had forward-facing eyes, which gave it decent depth perception, but its visual field had a massive blind spot directly in front of its nose. Its snout was so wide and so tall that anything directly ahead at close range was completely invisible to it. So picture this: a T-Rex chases down prey, gets close. The prey freezes directly in front of its nose, and the T-Rex loses it, just loses it entirely. There's a reason the famous Jurassic Park scene says it can't see you if you don't move. That's actually based on real science, but it gets worse. The T-Rex's neck was so stiff and so heavily muscled that turning its head quickly was slow and difficult. Anything that moved fast enough to get behind it had a fighting chance. The apex predator, outsmarted by standing still. Now here's something that will genuinely surprise you: a T-Rex weighed between 8 and 14 tons. It walked on 2 legs, and according to biomechanical studies, it could not run, not in the Hollywood sense anyway. At true running speed, both feet leave the ground at the same time. If a T-Rex tried that, the impact force upon landing would have shattered its leg bones instantly. So the T-Rex had to do this awkward, stiff-legged, fast walk, topping out at around 12 miles per hour. A fit human can run 15. You could outrun a T-Rex on a good day. And if it ever did fall from a stumble, a fight, anything, the impact of a 9-ton body hitting the ground at even low speed would cause catastrophic internal injuries. Fossil evidence shows multiple T-Rex specimens with healed leg fractures. They fell, they survived, but they walked with pain for the rest of their lives, with no one to help them. And now the cruelest part of all: the T-Rex grew fast, insanely fast, from a tiny hatchling to a full-grown adult in about 20 years, but that rapid growth came at a cost. Their bones show intense growth rings, like tree rings, packed so tightly. It suggests the body was under constant physiological stress just from growing. And after all of that, after surviving infections, falls, blind spots, and useless arms, the average T-Rex lived only 28 to 30 years. That's it. A house cat lives longer relative to its size. A tortoise can outlive 5 generations of T-Rexes, and in those 28 years you spent the first 20 just growing. You had maybe 8 to 10 years of actual adult life, 8 years of hunting, suffering, and eventually succumbing to injury, disease, or starvation. Then an asteroid showed up and made it all irrelevant anyway. So the next time someone calls the T-Rex the king of the dinosaurs, remember what that crown actually cost: useless arms that couldn't scratch its own face, teeth that infected its own skull, eyes that went blind up close, legs that couldn't run without snapping, and a lifespan shorter than most people's careers. The T-Rex didn't rule the earth, it just suffered on it. Longer than most and louder than anything. Being an animal is rough. Some just hide it better than others. If you want to see which animal has it even worse, stick around. We've got a whole list.